Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and the thing we're looking at today is very heavy, so I'm gonna put it down. So this right here is a Kingpin Cooling Tech 9 Fat LN2 pod that I just received today. This is pretty obviously used because I haven't run this yet. I can't run this yet. I don't have dry ice because I'm gonna use dry ice with this. LN2 is on the table, but not for now, because I don't have a Dewar and I don't have the money to buy it after buying this one. But yeah, so I said I was gonna get at least a dry ice capable pod, but I ended up getting one that can also do LN2 fine, which I think is actually made for LN2, and on dry ice it just kinda also works, but I don't think it's really meant for that. But yeah, I said I was gonna get one, I did get one. I paid 200 euros for this one, used. As far as I now knew, these are like 350 or 400, so that's a pretty nice discount for getting it used. And even like getting it pre-insulated and with like a K-type thermocouple attached. Yeah, so I got this used from a guy in the Netherlands. Goes by served. Just instead of an S, you put a 5 there, just like their Bauer has an 8 instead of a B. And yeah, so he hooked me up with this. I got in touch with him over the HW bot Discord, where they have like a marketplace channel where you can sell and ask for stuff. And I was basically just, I'm looking for used dice or LN2 pods. I had a 200 euro ceiling, which, well, I reached with this one. And he came back to me and he said, yeah, he has a couple pods for sale. He also had a slim pod. This is the fat one, so the slim pod is, well, it's slimmer. So you can run, you can use the slim pod in 4-way SLI, whereas this one doesn't fit in 4-way because you're using more than 2 slots. But I was only gonna get one pod anyway, so I went with the fat one because well, the slim one would have been cheaper actually, but this one can just hold more things in it, so it. Well, I don't know. I've actually heard the Kingpin pods are kind of slow. Like if you put new dice or LN2 in them, they take a while to cool down. Which this might have made that worse. But actually no, I actually don't know how the physics work for below ambient. Like I haven't run this yet, and it's gonna take at least like a week until I can run this. Because I need to get dry ice, I need to get an interface fluid, which is gonna be acetone. I'm gonna need something to plug this into to read the temperature, and then I need to find a card that I want to run, which is probably the GTX 580 Direct CO2, and then I need to insulate that card with Plastidip, and then I can run that. So that will take some time, mostly because I blew out the budget on this one, and now I have to wait some time until I get more budget to actually buy dry ice and acetone and stuff. So yeah, but I have this pod now, and I will run it soonish. And yeah, so in terms of what I'm gonna run with this, because this GTX 480 here, that's just a placeholder. I just tested the mount on it, like the mounting system. I could actually use those 4 extra holes as well. I just need to find screws for them. But yeah, I'm not gonna run this 480. What I'm gonna run is, well, the 580 Direct CO2, maybe some of my Lightnings. If I repair that GTX 580 Lightning Extreme, of course that one. But mainly I want to run Kepler, like Kepler-based graphics cards. So I have my 1500 MHz GTX 680, but that one's on the stock VRM, and it has been handling water a lot better than I thought it would, but I don't know how it's gonna handle dry ice. I would like to run the 770 Windforce, but as you might have seen in the community post I made, I blew up the PWM controller on it. Rest of the card is still okay. I verified it works with the 580 ePower that I attached in a test position, and yeah, the card still works. It just needs a new PWM controller. I have the 780 Jetstream, which probably is a bad idea because it has a power stage that's about to die. and I don't want that happening mid bench session. I have the 780 Ti matrix, but I need to figure out how to get more than 1.2 volts out of this one, and I heard that volt modding that card is very annoying because you have to like cut a trace. So I don't know about that one, but it would be a candidate. And then, yeah, then there's the other GTX 680, which I am e-powering. But that one's gonna need some time as well, because to make that one I need a better soldering iron. Because the 75 watt iron that I have now is not strong enough to just melt the solder, like get good connections. So I ordered a 150 watt iron, but I forgot to check if they have it in stock, which they don't. And it's gonna take probably until middle of April to get here. So yeah, half a month, if not more, from now on. So that e-powered 680 may not be happening for the first time I do dry ice. So yeah. And then yeah, then there's the 7970s and the 7950s. So I have two 7970s. I have a Lightning and I have a Matrix. The Lightning I probably won't run because that card has been heat gunned back to life at least 3 times, and 2 times by the previous owner who didn't use a heat gun but an oven, which probably damaged or destroyed all the capacitors on it. And yeah, since that card has been heat gunned so many times, it probably doesn't have a lot of time until it needs to be heat gunned again. So I don't think it's reliable enough to run it with dice. Then there's the 7970 Matrix, which does work fine. The only issue with that card is I tested it extensively on air, custom air and water, and whatever I do, the core on it just won't clock. Like 1.4 volts can't do 1300 megahertz clock. It just sucks. I don't know why, the core just sucks. The 7970 Lightning, it did 1350 at 1.35 volts. The 7950 I have did 1320 megahertz at 1.3 volts. And yeah, the 7970 Matrix runs 1.4 volts and can't even do 1300. So yeah, it really sucks. I might still run it because there might just be a lot of cold scaling in the card, and it might do actually very well if I just take it cold enough. I have heard of that happening, just like cards sucking on ambient but then being pretty good sub-ambient. But I'm gonna run the Matrix basically just when I have more dry ice than I can use, and basically just end up with some that I didn't use, and I'm just gonna be like, oh well, I'll run the Matrix. Yeah, then there's the 7950, which has a pretty good core. It has a PCB that I think is gonna be capable, like the PCB, the VRM is about as strong as this one. So I think it's capable of running dice. It's just that card has a overcurrent protection problem because at more than 1.3 volts the overcurrent protection trips and I have to disable it. I heard you can disable it with a custom BIOS. I just don't know where to get one. So you have to source a BIOS that disables the overcurrent protection on that one somehow, and then I can run the card dice. And yeah, that's pretty much all the candidates I would think of to run. So basically, cards that are ready to go and just need to be insulated now is the 580 Direct CO2. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's like the only card that's like where I know for a fact I won't have to do anything but insulate it, put the block on and start benching. All the other cards need like something done to them. Well, I mean, I could also do it with the 1500 MHz 680, but as I've said, I really don't think that VRM is gonna be that happy about me running it. At like if I like dry ice, I think I'm gonna be reaching like 1.5 volts at least, if not 1.6. And at that point, that little 4-phase is probably gonna be very upset with me. So I probably won't run the 680 until I e-power that other 680, verify it works, and then can e-power the other, like the good 680. Because I e-power the other one first to make sure I won't break the good 680. Because, well, I just happen to have another card with the same PCB, so I don't have to risk the good card to make sure I can e-power it properly. So yeah. So if I get dry ice sooner than later, I will probably only run the direct CO2. And if I can get like the e-power sorted out, I'll find like unlock BIOSes for some other cards, or like figure out how to vote mod some others. Then it's gonna be potentially more cards, but for now it's gonna be the 580 direct CO2. It's the only one that's like ready to go. And then other cards we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we're making progress to the inevitable day of doing sub-ambient overclocking with like, I mean, this is a pretty expensive commitment to do sub-ambient. This is a 200 euro commitment. And I'm gonna commit more because there's a couple things I need to get. I mean, dry ice, like I can get 10 kilos of dry ice for I think like 30 euros. Acetone, I don't know how much it's gonna cost. Guessing another 10 euros. I need to get like something to use this thermal probe with, which I was thinking of picking up some things from Elmo Labs, like an EVC2X, is it 2SX? Like the newest EVC one, and also some other stuff he sells, among that K-type thermal reader, plus also some other probes. So I'll be getting that from there, likely. But I think he's shipping... Is he shipping? I think he's shipping from Asia, so it's gonna take a while to get here. So yeah. But I have a pod now, and I'm steadily making more progress on actually doing... Yeah, I mean, at the point where you are like properly sub-ambient with like an LN2 port on your card, I think at that point you can generally call yourself an extreme overclocker. So we are making progress to get there. And I think that's pretty much everything I was gonna say. There was another take of this video that was twice as long as this, with just a lot of details. Mainly it was me complaining about the 7970 matrix and its core being trash. So yeah, I want to end it here before I waste anyone's time more than I have to. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, goodbye.